The other day I was at Barnes & Noble. I came across the newest fiber book. As you know, fiber books do not come out that frequently, so when one does, everybody pretty much knows about it. I posted that I got it on Instagram, and tons of people said that Santa had brought them this book because as I'm filming this, it's actually the 4th day of Hanukkah. This is popular. Lots of people are saying they really like it, and if you've been thinking about it, here are my thoughts. First of all, this book is published by Storybooks, and I have long been a fan of their books. Their layouts are excellent. They are very, very visually appealing. I love how visually appealing they are. You can see in the close-ups how great it is. It's a nice hardcover book. There are 239 pages, so it's a nice amount. Big. There are 12 knitting patterns in here. It's specifically geared towards spin to knit people. I like doing the process, but following a pattern makes me want to scream. If you are not like me, this is an excellent resource. They go into a lot about different breeds and the preps. It's very like beginner introduction in that sense. So if you are not super familiar with all the different kinds of fiber and the preps, this is a good introduction. Another thing I really like that she does is she goes in a lot of detail about the technical aspects. So if you're really interested in how things actually knit up, then you can get super involved with like wraps per inch or TPI, twists per inch, and how to measure those things and what do they mean and how do they affect your knitting. She has swatches and swatches and swatches and swatches, and how it looks in a stockinette versus cable versus lace, and all the different ways to set the yarn and how that affects the fit of the item, and if you are knitting a pattern, how to sub in a hand spun effectively without messing up things like the gauge and the hand. So if that kind of thing delights you, this is your book. They also touch on how to prep fiber so that way you can kind of control the way the color presents. I kind of think of myself as the grand connoisseur of this sort of thing. This is the thing that I like. I came up with a couple of really interesting new ideas by reading this book. Generally, not to like toot my own creative horn, but generally I don't find any inspiration for prep in books. A lot of it is very basic, straightforward things that I've read and seen a million times. So there were a couple of things that I really enjoyed prep-wise, and I'm actually going to do a demo video to test out one sort of thought process there. And I can't just spin one yarn. One thought process spawns a million. If you've read my books, you know there's a recipe and then there's like 20 different suggestions on how to do essentially the same thing, only different under each and every recipe. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that whole exploration process that I do when I discover a new perspective on color work with you this month. The other thing, the last thing that is included are those knitting patterns, and there's mittens and socks and shawls and a couple of cardigan sweater things. I think these are really good, straightforward patterns, and they do show off hand knit very well. So if you're into collecting knitting patterns, these are good ones, I think. But they're very basic. There's not a lot of interest in the actual knit pattern, so that way it really showcases the yarn, and the construction is unique, so the colors are really showcased in how things are constructed. See how that's like a basic pullover, but it is constructed uniquely to show off the colors? That kind of thing. So in closing, Yarnitecture is something that I would really recommend to someone who loves to spin to knit, who would like to spin to knit, or somebody who just goes nuts over the really technical scientific aspects of spinning and knitting. Alright, so if you've read this book, let me know which part you liked best in the comments below. And I don't know why that sentence is so hard to say. That's like my 7th take on that. Otherwise, hit the like button and subscribe. 51% of you are not subscribed. I have analytics. I can tell how many of you are not subscribed. So, when you subscribe, you make sure that you get all of my videos and you don't miss some. You don't have to go looking up my name or keywords. It just shows up in your feed. So that's pretty handy. You don't have to make it so it's a notification on your phone, because I don't have anybody I'm subscribed to on YouTube or social media pop notifications directly to my phone. That would be obnoxious. So if that's what's keeping you from subscribing, you can turn that off so that doesn't happen. Alright. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoy this, and I will see you next week.